Fantasy football season right around the corner here, and here's the top 15 kickers I'm ranking heading into the season before fantasy drafts and the season starts on September 9th. The first guy, who else would it be than Justin Tucker of the Baltimore Ravens? So Justin Tucker, we know he's one of the most accurate kickers in NFL history here, and it seems like he don't miss. Last season he did take a little bit of a back step early on, was Tucker, but he still had a good year and he still got the job done here. Once again, going into the 2021 season, he's ranked number one. So right here, he's going to get many opportunities once again. The Ravens, they're a team that does settle for a lot of field goals. And plus, Justin Tucker, he's got the big boot over there in Baltimore. Plus, there's some decent defenses in that division where sometimes you got no choice but to settle for three. You got Cleveland, who's a pretty good D, and obviously the Pittsburgh Steelers in that division. But Justin Tucker, each and every week, he's pretty much a double-digit kicker right now. And right now, I've seen him go, which I'm totally against this. I take my kicker in the last round or two, my kicker in defense. I'd rather have depth on my roster and obviously fill out the holes first before kicker in defense, even though it's important in fantasy football. You can find a lot of diamonds in the rough on the waiver wire as the season goes on. But anyway, Justin Tucker, he's undisputed number one kicker. And this guy, sometimes he puts up flex numbers at the kicking position. Number two, Young-Ho Koo of the Atlanta Falcons. So it was between him and Harrison Butker for me at the kicking position. But last season, Butker, he was a little bit shaky, missing a few extra points and not getting as many opportunities as Koo as well. Because obviously the Chiefs, they finish those drives off and get the touchdown more than the Atlanta Falcons. And Koo last season, he hit 8+ 50-yard field goals, which is a big number, and 8+ 40+ field goals. So right there, those are big fantasy points, those 40 and 50-yarders. And the other thing going for him, he plays indoors most of the season with obviously 8 home games and obviously 2 road games indoors as well versus the New Orleans Saints. So right there, that's 10 games indoors. And that's a fact that many people don't think about. So Koo here, he's definitely the number 2 kicker in my opinion. Maybe last season was a little bit of a fluke with how many 40 and 50-yarders he hit, 16 combined. But I'm just going to put my chances in Koo more than Harrison Butker. Because like I mentioned, there's more of a chance that the Falcons don't finish a drive with a touchdown and settle for 3 than the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 3, Harrison Butker of the Kansas City Chiefs. So like I mentioned last season, a lot of extra points for him and a lot of chip shot 20 to 30-yard field goals for Butker. Last season, he only hit 4 50+ field goals and only 3 40+ field goals, and he even missed 6 extra points, so he's a little bit shaky. But obviously, when you're in a high-powered offense here like Kansas City, it's automatic that this guy should be a top 5 kicker, and I got him in number 3 here. He's probably going to be better this season. Last year, the 6 extra points missed, I think, was a fluke, but we saw that around the whole NFL last season. A lot of extra points missed, but right here, Butker, he's in the top offense in the league, and there's no denying that he's going to get a lot of opportunities, even if it's chip shots and 4 or 5 extra points a game. Number 4 on the list, Tyler Bass of the Buffalo Bills. So Tyler Bass, he came out of nowhere as one of the better kickers in fantasy football last season, and this Bill team, they were one of the highest scoring teams as well. And Bass last season, he hit a lot of 40 and 50-yard field goals, 12 combined he hit, and he also hit some decent ones as well. So this guy's got a big boot. He's in Buffalo, and they're in a division where not many defenses are good in that division. So he's going to get a lot of opportunities. And I know the weather in Buffalo isn't that good throughout most of the season, where the wind's heavy and stuff. But Tyler Bass, I don't think that's going to play a factor. Last season, he showed he could kick the football from deep ranges, and I think he does it again this season here. And right here, I think he could put up big numbers, and we saw many double-digit ball games from him last year. Number 5 at the kicking position, Jason Sanders of the Miami Dolphins. So the Dolphins, another team where I don't see them finishing many drives this season for touchdowns and settling for a lot of field goals, even though in that division, like I mentioned with Bass, the defenses aren't good. But last season, Sanders, he was one of the best kickers in all of fantasy football. I believe the first 7-8 weeks of the year, he led all kickers in points. And last year, he had 20 combined 40+ field goals and 8 50+ field goals. So right there, that's a big 20 field goals made with high scoreage, obviously, for Sanders. And I could see more of the same this season with the Dolphins being more of a defensive team and a team probably scoring anywhere from 20 to 24 points a game and settling for a lot of field goals. And plus, he's in a good division where the defenses aren't good enough and where there could be some stops where he's going to get chances to get field goals. So I like Sanders at number 5. Number 6, Greg Zuerlein of the Dallas Cowboys. So Greg Zuerlein, we know his nickname's Greg the Leg for a reason, but last season a little bit shaky, and he was a little banged up as well, but he hit 12 plus 40 plus field goals, 3 plus 50 plus field goals, and those are big turnarounds there. If you could get, 4 or 5 points on one kick from a kicker, that's almost a touchdown right there. So right here, Greg Zuerlein, we know he's Greg the Leg. We know he plays indoors. This Cowboy offense, one of the better offenses coming into the season in the league, they should be. And he plays indoors as well, and the division has very weak defenses where there's going to be a lot of opportunities as well for Zuerlein. So I think it's another decent season for Zuerlein. And right now I got him ranked in number 6. Number 7, Will Lutz of the New Orleans Saints. So this season, the Saints, they might settle for field goals more than ever, unlike they have in the last 10 years plus where Drew Brees was there. But obviously Drew Brees retired in the offseason, and now it's either going to be Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston on the center here for the Saints. And last season, Will Lutz, he had a pretty decent year for the Saint team. 7 40-plus field goals, but only 1 50-plus field goal, which is a little surprising to me. That was usually his bread and butter throughout his career, but a lot of 30-pluses he hit as well. But Will Lutz, he's still going to get opportunities. And like I mentioned, he's going to get more opportunities with the Saints not punching in as many touchdowns as they did last season with the quarterback change, and obviously with Drew Brees retiring. So right now, Will Lutz, he's only getting drafted in 30% of fantasy leagues right now, which is a little surprising to me. I still think he could put up numbers, and I still think he's going to get a decent amount of field goals. And he's another guy that's going to play indoors for his home games, obviously, and then he's going to play an automatic 2 games at Atlanta too that's indoors because they're division rivals. So Will Lutz here, I got it 7. Number 8, Ryan Suckup of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So Suckup last season, a mixed bag of results. But again, this guy's in one of the best offenses in all of football, and why wouldn't you want to kick it from that team? He easily could get 5-6 points right off the bat as Suckup. And last season, we know he's not a long-range kicker. Only 8 total field goals from 40-plus for him, 7 from 40 to 49, and 1 from 50-plus. But he's going to get a lot of chip shots if the Bucs can't punch the ball in the end zone every drive that they're down there. And I just like kickers. We're on a high-powered offense, more opportunities, more chances in the red zone, and they just do to get a few in at least, even if they miss a few field goals. At least they're getting the opportunity and more chances than some of these kickers. Number 9, Matt Prater of the Arizona Cardinals, so the longtime Detroit Lion. He signed with the Cardinals in the offseason, and right here, he's going to be indoors as well for his home games this season, which is a definite plus in my book. If you don't got to deal with the elements, the cold weather, obviously, and just straight no wind or nothing, it's definitely a big plus for a kicker, obviously. And Prater, we know he's got the big leg. Last season, he still hit 60, 50-plus field goals, and he also hit 4 40-plus field goals with Prater. But this year, he's going to get more of an opportunity. This Arizona Cardinal offense is way better than anything he saw in Detroit over the last 2 seasons here is Prater. And I think he's definitely a surprising kicker. And this is why I have him in number 9. The Cardinals, they get a lot of red zone opportunities. And like I mentioned, they play indoors as well. And I just like Prater a lot this season. And he's a kicker that I got in number 9. Number 10, Robbie Gould of the San Francisco 49ers. So Robbie Gould, he's usually automatic, especially anywhere from 30 to the 40-yard range. 50-plus is a little bit trouble for him, even though last season he did hit 2 50-plus field goals. But right here, the San Francisco offense, they got all their guys back. And if they stay healthy, they're going to score a decent amount of points and get a lot of opportunities as well in this red zone here is San Francisco. So Robbie Gould, he's got one of the best percentages in kicking history in the NFL. And I just think, once again, this season, he's a guy that's going to be in the top 10 when it's all said and done, as long as he's getting opportunities. Last season, he didn't really get many opportunities with the quarterback carousel and the struggling offense in San Francisco. But this year, I think things are going to turn around, and he'll be a solid top 10 kicker. Number 11, Michael Badgley of the Los Angeles Chargers. So the Chargers, their offense should be good once again this season. with Justin Herbert in his second season under the helm. And they should get more opportunities as well. Last season, Badgley, he didn't do much from deep. 8 field goals from 40 to 49 and 2 field goals from 50 plus. But right here, this Charger offense, they're another team that sometimes doesn't finish off drives. But they got a good offense that gets down there in the red zone. So I think Badgley could have a quietly good season here. And I got him in number 11. Number 12, Rodriguo Blankenship of the Indianapolis Colts. So Blankenship, he was off to a roaring start in his rookie year at the kicking position, but he totally slowed down second half of the season here for the Colts, because this guy, he was way up there in the points for kickers in the first 6-7 weeks of the season. But right now, there was competition in training camp, but Rodrigo Blankenship, he won that competition versus former Bears kicker Eddie Pinheiro, and right now he's going to be the starter. And last season, like I mentioned, Rodrigo got off to a good start. He had 9 field goals from 40 to 49, but only 1 from 50 plus, but a lot of chip shots, 30 to 39. And this Colts offense, we'll see what they could do this season. Carson Wentz still not ready as the starter, so this team could have trouble definitely punching the ball into the red zone and trying long distance field goals as well. And Rodrigo, another guy who plays indoors, and that's definitely a plus as well here, is Dustin Hopkins of the Washington football team. So Hopkins here, he was good last season for the most part, and a very accurate kicker for this Washington football team. And in this NFC East, there's not many good defenses. Dallas is piss poor. Eagles, they don't got much anymore in D. And the New York Giants, we saw them play good defense last season, but I don't buy it once again this year. So right here, Dustin Hopkins last season, 13 40-plus yarders and 2 50-plus yarders. So right there, a lot of opportunities he's getting. And once again, like I mentioned, he's going to get the opportunities with a little better of an offense this season. With Fitzpatrick at quarterback, he's better than any of the 3 options they had last season in Alex Smith, Dwayne Haskins, and obviously Kyle Allen. In my opinion, Fitzpatrick's an upgrade, and this team should get more opportunities in the red zone and chances to kick field goals. And plus, the NFC East defenses are nothing special, in my opinion. Number 14, Jason Myers of the Seattle Seahawks. So last season, Myers, he didn't do much for fantasy owners until the ends of the season, after the Seahawks stopped scoring all those touchdowns. And he had 13-plus field goals from 40 to 49 range and 2 field goals from 50-plus. So right here, this Seahawk offense obviously is explosive and should be a top 5, top 10 offense this season. And Jason Myers definitely should get opportunities, of course, to have chances to kick a lot of field goals. And this season, I think he will. And like I mentioned, kickers is a crapshoot pretty much. After the first 2 or 3 guys behind Tucker, Young-Ho Koo, and Harrison, Butker, and Bass, after that, you don't know what's going to happen. And this is why I just wait for kickers, because kicker is pure luck a little in fantasy. You don't know what's going to happen exactly. And that's the chances you take when I'm doing these rankings anyway. Going off of guys who play indoors, going off offenses they run. And those are the type of kickers you definitely want to target, with the guys indoors and the guys on top offenses. So I got Myers at 14 and number 15, Brandon McManus of the Denver Broncos. So McManus, we know he plays in the crazy altitude of Denver. Really flies up there once it gets up. And McManus, we've seen over the seasons, hit a lot of 50-plus field goals. And last season, once again, 10-plus 50-yard field goals and 8-plus 40-yard field goals. So that's a big swing. That's a lot of points. But the funny thing is, he did miss 3 extra points last season as McManus. But right now, he's pretty much going undrafted in a lot of fantasy leagues. So like I mentioned, you just wait to the last round. You get one of these guys in one of the top offenses or indoors, and that's it right here for the kicker position. I don't think you got to go out there and waste the 8th or 9th pick just to get Justin Tucker on your team. There's many options at kicker. There's a lot of kickers who can kick the ball for a distance, and that's what you want. The guys who can kick the 40, 50-yarders, and the guys with good elements and good offenses. So that's the top 15 kicker rankings heading into the 2021 fantasy football season.